Hello and welcome to another update video about Aptos. So yeah, with Aptos, it continues to get hyped here. This move is or was based on hype, which doesn't necessarily drive long-term growth, but certainly, it could lead here to further upside. It's certainly worth looking, I think, at in terms of a speculative play. And there are a couple of ways how this can be counted from an Elliott wave point of view. We might have 5 waves complete here at the top, in a wave 1, and we now might come down in this wave 2 correction. So we have a very well defined, well, okay, not too well, but we have a trend line that we might pull back to. I think then we might have a nice and interesting pullback trade option, which might mean that we don't come down into this box. So this is the support box that is normally relevant for a wave 2 pullback. Now it could be that this is not a wave 2, it's actually a wave 4. There are different ways of counting this. I'm currently looking at this as a possible 5-wave move complete. We have retraced now off the high around 15%, already 18%. I mean, for some people that might already be enough in terms of maybe, getting in there and adding a little bit to their position, or people who weren't invested at all. I did recently buy just a little bit just to be part of it, in case it pumps further, only lunch money really. But it leaves the challenge to count this now. I mean, this certainly could be a wave A down, looks quite impulsive. This here might be an unfolding B wave. I mean, that could be finished, could also still push higher. As long as it doesn't really push above $20.40, we can see it really as a B wave. And it's not a clear 3-wave move, so ideally we're getting one more push here to the upside, and then it could come down in C. Now, this is the ideal support level for a wave 2. Because it's getting hyped so much, it might not come down into this region between 678 and 1173. I'm looking possibly just at the 38.2 FIB level at 1378. If it comes down straight from here, for example, or if it hits the trend line, maybe a wick down or so. At the moment, at least, I don't have any evidence that this downside move is finished. We had a bit of a descending wedge. We had a breakout. It's currently retesting that from above, and that might trigger this B wave. Or alternatively, if we already break above 2040, we could already be in that 3rd wave and have a very shallow wave 2, which I don't see at this stage. I think if we break out, this was probably not a wave 2, then we just have an extension. And a few videos ago, I showed you an alternative count where we have a real escalation count here. I think it was based on, I would need to unpack it again, but it was based on a 1-2 setup. Here, I think another 1-2, 1-2, and then it would just escalate higher, But it would really need a move, I think it was into the mid-$20 region to believe that count. But we basically had now a fairly strong retracement where in the other count we shouldn't really have one. So I'm primarily looking at this currently. Now again, many coins are currently doing their wave 4s. So this move here could still be this particular wave 4, and we move up once more in a wave 5. Either way, I mean, in the end, you need to decide what sort of pullback is interesting for you to get in here. Certainly, I can tell you if we have a pullback at the moment, 15 to 16% pullback from the high. It was more than that. This is already quite substantial. Around 18%, 17, 18%. That's already quite substantial. And if anybody is interested in this project, has no exposure at all, these are the pullbacks, and you might be interested in sort of starting to scale in a little bit. But that's eventually your decision. The way this has gone, I don't think the move up is finished yet. Ideally, I would like to see here a pullback. If I see a pullback into this area and maybe just here to the 38.2 FIB level, then this might be an interesting play, and I will add a little bit more. I did already add just sort of lunch money position, just because I wasn't involved at all and I wanted to get a little bit of exposure just in case this gets hyped further. But I think a reasonable area to start to scale in is this one, starting from 1378 And by that, we might also have a bit more clarity in which particular wave count we are. Yeah. We've now pulled back to the 23.6 fib. I mean, that is the first possible support level really, but only a very, very shallow one. And yeah, ideally it pulls back to the 38.2 at the very least. Looking at the indicators, I actually wanted to take a look at the daily. There you go. So one reason why I think this is gonna head down a bit lower in this wave 2 correction is because we had this bearish crossover on the MACD. And this is starting from quite a high level, so it could really push it down quite a bit. I'm gonna observe that certainly. Also, we have a bearish crossover on the daily relative strength index after we had that bearish divergence, which we talked about in one of the previous videos. And that's really all I can say. And also on the 4-hour chart, we've got the lowest reading since, since end of December, really. So it starts to show a more substantial retracement. And I think this wave 2 might be the way to go now. I'll keep an eye on that for you, and I will keep you updated. But bear in mind that if we break above 2040, then this can still push higher. And the first view would be that we haven't finished the 5th wave yet. At the moment, I'm viewing the 5th as finished, but again, it was really only going to the previous high, so we had a bit of a double top situation here. Not a very clear wave 5, so ideally it pushes a bit higher. But I'll keep you updated, and yeah, that's where we are with Aptos. So hopefully you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.